Dallas was awful on defense last year. If it's my pick and my board, Aaron Donald's still available, and he fits what Rod Marinelli wants to do perfectly. He's a 3-technique, a 1-gap disruptor. Love him. Or I might take Clinton Dix, another guy. I plop him back on the back end, and I'm better at the safety position. I need to get better on defense. If it's my pick, it's one of those two players. However, this is all Jerry's world, and we're just living in it, folks, okay? And if Johnny Manziel happens to get to number 16,
oh, no.
It's party time, Dallas style. Johnny Manziel, the hometown quarterback. Does he have some weaknesses in his game? Sure he does, both on and off the field. However, I believe if he's on the board, Tony Romo's 34, coming off his second back surgery. Can Jerry Jones and that whole Barnum and Bailey thing pass up on this kid? I don't believe so.
I know you're not on Twitter. Take my word for it. You just blew it up by putting Manziel in Dallas, okay?
It doesn't mean a thing. This is fake world right now.
But if it does happen,
if Manziel's on the board, I really believe that owner is it's gonna be one of those things, I think, where the owner takes over and says, that's our guy.
But if he does that, is it a football decision, or is it something else for Jerry Jones if he makes this move?
Well, he's got to be a really good player, or you can't make that move. But let's face it, we already talked about how bad the defense was. I'd like to upgrade the defense. If I was the head coach, I'd like to upgrade the defense. But remember, who wears the dual hat in Dallas of owner and general manager? Mm-hmm. It's Jerry Jones. And I'm not taking a shot against this pick. He's my highest-rated quarterback. I'm just saying, despite the fact that everything you need, how much you just paid Romo, all the other stuff, I don't think Jerry could help himself. That simple.
Okay, but Tony Romo just inked a new deal, still has $55 million guaranteed. I get it, he just turned 34. I get it, he's coming up a couple of back surgeries as well.
Yep.
So how soon would we see Johnny Manziel on the turf?
I think there'd be a Manziel package from day one. And it would be some of the zone read stuff. It would be a lot of play action stuff. It'd be getting him out there and having fun, taking a little bit of the load away from Romo, which I think would benefit that offense. Now, that offense already was number 5 in points scored a year ago. But again, 34 years old. That's when Troy Aikman retired after his back surgery. So I think you have to be cognizant of it. You can't just brush it under the table.
Yeah, but if you're Tony Romo, you're not sitting there saying, okay, Johnny, welcome to the team. I can't wait. I love this sub package you've got for me. So does this mean they're kind of cutting ties and moving on eventually within a year?
Eventually, he's going to be your guy if he plays well this year.
Like he would be by the end of the 2014 regular season, we could see Johnny Manziel as the every down quarterback?
Look, we're pushing this thing pretty far, but my point is he gets a package to start with, and depending on how well he does and the health of Romo, maybe it's just a package all year long, and then they go into training camp the following year, and there's a decision that's made.
But we saw what a circus it was when Tim Tebow was up in New York, and there were, 98% of the evaluators that said Tim Tebow couldn't play. They're not saying that about Johnny Manziel. I mean, there's varying degrees of it.
Let's stop for a second. Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow, the only common denominator is the circus.
But that's a huge aspect here.
However, the talent is completely different. This kid's arm strength is as good as Blake Bortles. This is not a pop gun, okay? There are two things about Johnny Manziel that worry me. One is on the field, and that is his LSU tape and his Missouri tape was poor. And the reason was they did that slow mush rush, kept him in the pocket, and he got frustrated. Can he learn to transition to winning in the pocket? And number two, there's an awful lot of teams that are worried about managing what you're talking about for the next 5 years. I just don't think Jerry's one of those.
Are you worried about it?
Personally, I'm worried about it.
He's not. He's not. I just don't see it necessarily as a football decision. I think it's fun. I think it's amazing. We've heard rumors about it as well.
One step further from a football perspective, like you want to do. Think of the division they're in right now. Philadelphia is the prohibitive favorite. They won the division last year. They're going to get better this year. Is one defensive player this year going to help Dallas win this division? Dallas's defense was awful. They lost to Marcus Ware. If they get one good defensive player, are they closer to winning the division? My answer would be no. I think they're further away than people think to winning a championship. So if Johnny Manziel was sitting there at 16, I'm not saying I would take him, but I am telling you that I think it's a legitimate conversation, and I think at the end of the day, Jerry Jones would pull the trigger.
Do you think the fan base would be super excited with this selection? or be a little hesitant because it's been 4 straight years missing out on the postseason party. At some point, they're like, okay, great, Johnny Manziel, but that doesn't mean we're necessarily going to make it in 2014.
Look, it's a huge party if that happens Thursday night in Dallas. I think the fan base is energized. I think the minute he gets out on the field, the anticipation. Remember, this is his home state.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Hometown boy in Dallas Stadium? The house that Jerry built? Are you kidding me?
What would the reaction of this place be if that happened? It'd be I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. Well, just like the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Jets, it's pretty much playoffs or bust for